Here we have a SAT math problem. Okay, let's go to the question. The radius and height of a cylinder are in the ratio 5 to 7 and its lateral surface area is 1750 pi square centimeters. What is the volume of the cylinder in cubic centimeters? Round your answer to the nearest hundredth. Okay, here we have to find the volume of a cylinder. There is a formula to get volume of a cylinder. That is a pi times r square times height. Okay, here this lowercase r represents the radius of the cylinder and this lowercase h represents the height of the cylinder. If I want to get the volume of a cylinder, I must be knowing the radius of the cylinder and height of the cylinder. Using the other information, we have to get the radius and the height of the cylinder. And we have the ratio of radius and height of the cylinder, that is 5 to 7. Okay, from the terms of the ratio here, to get the radius and height of the cylinder, I have to multiply both the terms of this ratio by the same non-zero number, say x. Then to get the radius, I have to multiply the first term of the ratio by the non-zero number x, then I'm getting 5x. And this x is a positive number because when I multiply this 5 and the number x, it has to be a positive value because radius cannot be negative. So x must be a positive value. Now to get the height of the cylinder, we have to multiply the second term of the ratio by the same non-zero number x. Then I'm getting 7x. Okay, here once I get the value of x, it can be multiplied by 5 to get the radius and it can be multiplied by 7 to get the height. Once we get the radius and height, we can find the volume of the cylinder using the formula what we have seen already. Okay, how do we have to get the value of x over here? For that, we have to use the stuff for lateral surface area of the cylinder, so 1750 pi square centimeters. Okay, now let me draw a cylinder over here. Okay, here I've drawn a cylinder. And lateral surface area of cylinder is the area of the cylinder, I mean the surface area of the cylinder, where we should not include the base at the top and the base at the bottom. So we should not include the area of the base and bottom. That's called lateral surface area. That is, we have to consider the surface area of the curved region over here. Okay, there is a formula to get the lateral surface area, that is 2 pi r h. So this is a formula we have to get lateral surface area of a cylinder. Okay, since the lateral surface area given over here 1750 pi square centimeters, we can equate this formula to this stuff. Then I'm getting 2 pi r h equals to 1750 pi. Okay, now let me divide both sides of the equation by pi. Then this pi will cancel out. Here the same thing. And 2 times for r we can plug in 5x and for h we can plug in 7x. Then we get 2 times 5x times 7x equals to 1750. 2 times 5 is 10. 10 times 7 is 70. X times x is x square. Then we get to 1750. Let's divide both sides of the equation by 70. Then this 70 will cancel out. I'm getting x square equals to, okay, now let me divide 1750 by 70. When I use calculator, I am getting 25. Okay, let me continue over here. We get x square equals to 25. Our aim is to get the value of x. For that, we have to get the exponent 2 over here. Let me take square root on both sides of the equation to get the exponent 2 over here. Let me take square root on the right side as well. Okay, here on the left side, the square root and square will cancel out. Usually, when we take square root on both sides of an equation, one of the square roots will cancel out. And for the other square root, we have to consider positive or negative sign. But already we have discussed x is a positive value. So we don't have to consider positive or negative for the square root on the right side. We can consider only positive side for the square root over here. Now we get x on the left side. On the right side, square root of 25 is just 5. Sorry. Okay, here I got the value of x, that is 5. Let's plug in that x equals to 5 over here. When I plug in x equals to 5, then I'm getting 5 times 5, 25. That is 25 centimeters is the radius. When I plug in x equals to 5 over here, I'm getting 35 centimeter as the height. I consider the radius and the height in centimeters because the lateral surface area is given in square centimeters and the volume is required in cubic centimeters. So we can consider the linear dimensions, the radius and height in just centimeters. Okay, here I got the radius of the cylinder and the height of the cylinder. Let's use the formula that is pi r square times h to get the volume of the cylinder. And pi times, and the radius is 25, that is 25 square times height is 35, sorry. And now let me evaluate the value of this expression using calculator, or we can use a Desmos to get the value of this one. Okay, so 25 times 25 is 625 times 35 is 21,875, and it has to be multiplied by pi. When I do so, I am getting let me write the value over here, 68,700, sorry, 68,722.33 and 9 2, it keeps going. So it's a long number. Okay, now according to the instruction, what we have to do is we have to round our answer to the nearest hundredth. Nearest hundredth means two digits to the right of the decimal point. So then we get 68,722. And here the thousand place is 9. Okay, when I round some number to the nearest hundredth, I have to consider the digit in thousands place. If it is 5 or greater than 5, we have to add 1 to the digit in hundredth place. Okay, so since 9 is greater than 5, I have to add 1 to the digit in hundredth place. Then we get 68,722.34 cubic centimeter. Okay, here I got the volume of the cylinder rounded to the nearest hundredth, that is 68,722.34 cubic centimeters.